My name's Trent, and this was back in '98, when I moved into that rundown duplex in Toledo. Rent was cheap, and the guy next door, Mike, seemed okay at first. He was in his mid-50s, retired engineer, always in grease-stained overalls. He'd wave from his porch, ask about my job at the warehouse, offer a beer sometimes, said he lived alone since his wife left years ago. He had no kids, no family nearby, just him and his garage full of old car parts. One night, maybe a month in, I hear this scraping outside my window around 3 in the morning. It sounded like metal on concrete. I peeked out, and there's Mike in his yard, dragging a big plastic sheet, the kind you cover furniture with. He's got a flashlight taped to his head, humming some old country tune. I figured he's fixing something, so I went back to bed. But the next morning, my trash bin's tipped over, and there's blood on the lid. Not a lot, just streaks. I tell myself it's from a cut hand or a stray cat. Boy, was I wrong. Things got weirder after that. Mike started leaving stuff on my doorstep, mainly photos. Polaroids of people smiling. At first, they seemed normal. A kid at a park, an old lady with a cake sitting in a restaurant. But then I noticed that their smiles were off. They were too wide, like their cheeks were pulled back, and the backgrounds were always empty. No one else around. Photoshopped. I asked him about it one evening, knocking on his fence door while he's grilling burgers in his backyard. Just hobbies, Trent, he says, flipping a patty. I like capturing joy. Makes the world less grey. He invites me in his backyard for a beer, then inside into his living room. I kid you not. From wall to wall he had those photos hung. Hundreds, I'd say, pinned up like wallpaper. Some look recent, like the guy from the gas station down the block, grinning ear to ear in his driveway. I stopped going over there after seeing that. Started locking both my front and back doors. But things kept getting weirder. The noises at Mike's ramped up, scraping every night, closer to my side of the house. One time, I caught him through the fence, kneeling by my back door, holding a pair of pliers, clipping something small, I think metallic. My heart started pounding so hard I almost blacked out. I called the cops that night, but they say it's nothing, that they found no crime committed. Said I just had an odd neighbor. Keep an eye out, they told me. It was a Tuesday. I'm home late from overtime, just to find Mike standing in my kitchen. My door was unlocked. He must jimmied it open. Probably what he was doing the night I called the cops. But unlike the last time I saw him, this time he had a kitchen knife in one hand, that headlamp of his on, and a roll of duct tape in his other hand. Trent, buddy, he says, in a creepy as hell but calm voice. You look tired. Let me fix that smile of yours. It turned out he'd been watching me for weeks, noting how I frowned a lot due to stress from work. At least that's what he said. He lunged, but I threw a kick at his chest, hard enough he dropped the knife and threw up a little. I pinned him down, all while talking to the police. I held him until the sirens came. Cops believing me this time. Raided his house, found something very disturbing in his garage. Freezers full of faces, human faces, surgically removed, preserved like deli meat. He'd been at it for years, starting with runaways, then locals who needed cheering up. Mike's rotting behind bars now. Me, I sold the place and moved south. How could I live there anymore? I couldn't, especially since he knew where I lived. What if he broke out? That was a thought I feared the most. I am Lisa, and this happened during my cross-country drive in 2012. Fresh off a divorce from a toxic relationship, heading from Philly to Reno for a cousin's wedding. I picked up an old Chevy from Craigslist, threw my stuff in the back, and hit the road. Third day in, somewhere in Nebraska, the car got a flat. Out in the middle of nowhere, nothing but cornfields and billboards is where my tire blows out. And it just so happens around dusk. No cell signal, and no town for miles. I'm out there with the jack, cursing under my breath, when headlights cut through the haze. It's this old station wagon, wood-paneled sides like from the 70s. A guy pulls up, rolls down his window. He looked to be in his 40s, clean-shaven, had on a button-up t-shirt tucked neat in his pants. Do you need a hand? He asked. Name's Ray, he says. That he lives just off the interstate and is handy with cars. I figure why not let him change my tire, better than struggling to do it myself. He gets the spare on quick, chats with me about the weather, how the planes play tricks on your eyes at night, offers me to come to his place for coffee, so I can rest. I am beat, so I say yes. His house is a squat rancher, lights on in every window. Inside, it's spotless. Linoleum floor so clean you could eat food off of it. And he had shelves lined with model trains. He brewed us coffee, strong and black, and we sit at his kitchen table, which is where he started asking me questions, like where I am from, and where am I going. But then he began to dig deeper. Ever feel like you're running from something? He says, before taking a sip from his mug. I laugh it off, but his eyes don't move from me, fixed on me, like he's memorizing. He excuses himself to the garage, comes back with a photo album. My collection, he explains. Pictures of women all ages, posing by his wagon, all smiling and giving a thumbs up, like road trip souvenirs. Hitchhikers I helped. Good people mostly. Some look familiar, like that missing persons flyer from a rest stop. I shift in my seat, say I should head out. But the coffees hit weird. My head began to feel fuzzy, my limbs heavy. I seen him notice. Stay the night. Guest room's ready. He grabs a hold of me and carries me upstairs. I couldn't fight. He must have drugged me. He put me in a room. The bed was made. Next to it was a nightstand with a lamp, water and aspirin sitting on it. He slung me on the bed, cuffed me, then left the room. The door locked from outside. I pounded on it, yelling the best I could, to no avail. Hours passed by. Dawn drew, and he knocked softly. Breakfast, Lisa. Through the crack, I see he's got a tray, eggs, toast, and that album open to a blank page. He made sure to press it up to the crack for me to see. Your spot, he says. It was revealed that Ray's been doing this for over a decade, where he'd pick up stragglers, drug their coffee, or whatever he offered them. Acts hospitable till the drugs kick in. Feeds them stories from the album. Makes them with their own pictures. Last girl lasted 3 months before the cops found her Polaroid in his attic. He forced her to smile and pose. I faked calm that morning, asked to use the bathroom. He uncuffed one hand. I didn't waste time. I grabbed up, then smashed the lamp on his head when he turned. Grabbed my keys, ran to my car. Drove straight to the state line, where I was able to get help. Cops picked him up 2 days later. He'd already grabbed another driver, one he was about to kill. To this day, I don't drive anywhere alone. And if I do, I keep a taser on me, just in case. Hey, it's David, father to a 6-year-old girl, Sarah. This was 5 years back, when I worked nights at the plant and needed someone reliable for evenings. I hired this woman named Claire through a church bulletin. Early 30s, soft voice, wore cardigans and carried a medical bag everywhere she went. Said she was a retired nurse, but I still reference checked, found out her background was clean. First few weeks, everything was perfect. Sarah came home bubbly, her homework done, snacks prepped. Claire even taught her card tricks. But then Sarah started acting off, flinches if I hug her too tight, hides under blankets at bedtime, asked weird questions like, Daddy, what's inside of people? I chalked it up to school stress. But one night, I get home early. Work cancelled. My kitchen lights were on, but it was quiet. I ease the front door open, and Claire's got Sarah on the table, her shirt lifted, and she was poking her belly with gloved fingers. Her medical tools were out. Scalpel, clamps, little jars labeled with dates. Sarah's eyes were wide, but she wasn't crying. She just sat there staring at the ceiling. Claire doesn't flinch when I yell, just straightens up, snaps of the glove. Michael, you were early. We were playing doctor, educational. Her bags open on the counter, sutures, syringes, pictures tucked in a side pocket, shots of kids' skin, close-ups of cuts and stitches, notes scribbled. Response to saline. Good. Turns out Claire wasn't retired. She got booted from the ER for experiments on patients. Small incisions during checkups, testing pain thresholds. No charges stuck, but word spread. She pivoted to babysitting, targeting single parents. Kept a ledger of kids, drawings of their insides. I grabbed Sarah, told Claire to leave, then called 911. It didn't take long. Cops searched her apartment that night. Walls papered with those photos, fridge stocked with samples in formaldehyde. They even discovered that she had killed at least one child. Claire, she smiled in her mugshot, said it was all for science. Kids are resilient, she told the judge. Thankfully, she was put away for 20 years, but appeals every chance. Sarah sees a therapist now. Won't let anyone touch her except me. And me. I quit nights, and I now watch her like a hawk. Turns out the scariest monsters don't hide in closets. Some you trust to watch your children,